How would you like to avoid burnout and consistently attract 6 to 30 customers a month from outside of your network? And that's without overspending on sales, marketing, and PR, aka without building what we call an old startup. I call this the mission effect because, as Peter Thiel, the founder of PayPal, said, small groups of people bound together by a sense of mission have changed the world for the better. And most founders have to hustle their way towards their mission. And the secret truth is they stay up late at night wondering why they feel uneasy and how to know if what they're doing is working. And for the few that do have a growing business, they wonder how long their business will continue to grow and if they can handle it growing even when that happens. Only founders with a high growth startup system can say, our small group changes the world for the better every day. Hi, my name is Apoorva Pandey, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to install a high growth startup system that generates 6 to 30 customers every month without burnout. I'm also going to share with you the main reason why most founders burn out when they launch startups and they scale them, what the only obstacles all founders face are, and how to overcome them, and then a 0 to 10 process, the 3 phases of a high growth startup, and which one you're in right now. You see, for the past 10 years, I've been working with some of the sharpest founders all over the planet, those solely focused on building $100 million, billion dollar valuation companies. And the top 3 categories of founders that I work with are founders of hardware companies, founders of SaaS and software companies, and lastly, our service providers. These are marketing agencies or consultants that transition to selling products. Here's a couple clients of mine. This is Aaron Beatles. He runs a marketing agency that works with the UFC and USPS. Here's Arun Lal. He creates some AI software. Here's Ash Malhotra. He does cybersecurity. Here's Pradap Dev Raj. He has AI security cameras that help with contact tracing and safety in this new world that we're living in. They're calling it the new normal now. Okay, so promise me after you learn what I'm about to show you today, you're not going to end up like this guy, and you're going to use what wealth you make to actually impact the world for the better. So burnout. So before I get into what to do to grow your startup, I need to explain why the system works so well. And most founders, they build systems that promise the most output instead of a system that can withstand the most stress. And that's what leads to burnout. They end up building someone else's business with channels and products that they've heard will work, but they don't really know what's going to work. And they don't build one that's going to both excite them on a daily basis and utilize their expertise at the highest level. But the truth is, you only need to go through 3 phases to scale your startup to 8 figures without burning out. You don't need to follow all the different kinds of advice out there. And those 3 phases are right here. One is launch. This is where you're going to sell really quickly, and you're going to do modeling to identify what a profitable offer would be, so that way you can get to that 200K really, really fast. The second stage is growth. This is where you're going to sell profitably. So you're going to use experimentation and test iteratively a bunch of the different things in your business, and that's going to get you to about $1 million a year. And this process is really for you to be able to put in like $1 and get like 1.5 to 2x out. The last process is scale. This is where you're going to be able to sell exponentially, and you're going to do that through abstraction or simplification of your business. And that's going to get you to about 10 million a year. And here you're going to get like a 5 to 10x return on all the dollars you invest in your business. And so the first step is modeling. This is where you use a system or a procedure as an example to follow to be able to create a better startup. And the problem most founders face at this level is that most companies sell ideas and not products that guarantee outcomes. And even worse, they do it at a loss. Okay, even the founders that believe they know their numbers, they don't. And this leads to cash flow issues attracting talent, inability to invest in marketing, and it creates an environment that's inhospitable for investors. So people don't want to work with you or invest in you. All of these are a recipe for anxiety and stress. And so the solution for that is you need to first identify how profitable your business needs to be for you to grow. And then you got to create a profitable product within those bounds that has a repeatable outcome for your customers. And you're going to do so only by iterating on your marketing message and pricing. Reduce complexity as much as possible here. So here's an example of a great founder that believes in this, and he knows that know your numbers is a fundamental precept of business. This is Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. Louis came to us. He runs a marketing agency. He does about 20K a month now. He followed the exact same process. He was at 0 when he came to us now, and he was able to grow. And he even fell down a couple of months, but by re-implementing the process, he was able to get back to the revenues that he needs. Ariel and Tiana run like an education business. They are around 20, 30K as well, and they're doing it consistently month on month because they were able to create that profitable offer for their business. So the second step in this process is experimentation. And this is the act of testing a principle, a supposition, etc. You're basically testing all the ideas and initiatives that you have here. And so the problem in this stage is companies that have some sales, they either rely on their networks and referrals to do so, or they have to hire expensive salespeople to manage the process. And this causes large ups and downs in revenue. And so the solution for this is you got to iteratively test combining technology and media with your salespeople. And that way you're going to be able to acquire sales at a significantly cheaper rate. This will allow you to invest $1 in and get 1.5 to 3x out. And that's going to give you the confidence you need to reinvest in the business, hire better team members, and raise more money. And here's a quote from Edison that really highlights this. He says he didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. So testing iteratively is a solution. You're not actually failing when you have down months, you're testing. Because great success is built on failure, frustration, and even catastrophe. Here's an example of a founder that went through this process with us. He had a down month and he started experimenting. He already had a profitable product, and within 48 days, he brought in $35,000 in revenue. And I believe he had $110,000 additional to that in rev share contracts. So $145,000 in about 48 days. Not too bad. Here's another example of a client of ours, David Berkowitz. He runs a marketing agency. He was able to bring in contracts consistently by iterating on his business again and again. Let's get into abstraction. So the problem in this step, this is to get you from $1 million to $10 million a year, is as you grow, your startup becomes consistently more complex. And this leads to depression and panic. People get depressed and they start panicking when everything they do introduces more complexity in their lives and they feel like there's no way out. We don't want that for you. That's where that burnout comes from. And we need to make sure we solve that. So the solution to this is we have to ruthlessly simplify your business through value chain processes. And once your business is simple, you're going to be able to solve complex problems for your customers, which will in turn increase your profits. So this will increase your ROI to 5 to 10x for every $1 you put in your business. Here's a quote from Da Vinci that highlights this. He says, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." And it's the truth. Your life will get so much better as you simplify all your complexity. Here's an example of a founder that went through this process. He was running multiple businesses. He's an investor as well. He started focusing on one business, and within 1 month, he brought in $600,000. And that was his first month in the program. Here's another example of a founder that came to us and implemented actually all three of these steps. So built a profitable offer, did experimentation, and is now abstracting. And he's scaling up to he's at multi-millions a year right now. I can't say the exact numbers because he's raising some money, but awesome success story for us. So now that you know those 3 steps, there's 2 paths that you can kind of take moving forward. Path number 1 is you can take this information and implement it yourself and get the computer and start working on it. But like I said, this took us 10 years to put together. And then I had also had to test it on a lot of different companies. And so I don't recommend going that route, but it is possible that, it could work out for you. The second path is you can go ahead and go through those 3 phases with us. And if that's something that's interesting to you, then maybe you're a dream partner of ours. Maybe we can welcome you into our community and our accelerator. We have people all over the world. We interact with each other on Slack. There's a lot of different fun things we can do. And so go ahead to the link below and click apply if that's interesting to you. We're only going to work with you if this is a win-win. And what's going to happen when you apply is you're going to be able to book a call with us, and we're going to do a custom tailored growth strategy session with you and either me or one of my senior advisors. And this is where we're going to identify your true goals, and we're either going to do modeling or abstraction so that you can transition to a high growth startup and implement these systems in your business. So who is this call for? This is for founders, owners, and partners who are currently making some sales already. You're selling a hardware product, maybe a software product, or you're transitioning to selling products. And this is for people who are great at what they do and can build at least a $10 to $100 million company. This is for people who actually love solving problems and care about having successful customers more than anything else. And this is for people who know that scaling requires capital for software, ads, team members, expenses, and they have allocated for it appropriately. This is not for people who want to quit their job one day and start a startup. This is not for people who want some guru to follow. These are very step-by-step strict processes that we take you through. This is not for people who gossip, make excuses, and complain. This is definitely not for people who want to learn about everything and never take action. I am a practical person more than I'm a theoretical person. You will just not enjoy it if you're one of these people. And this is not for people who aren't serious about their lives, businesses, times, or impact on this planet. So if you're interested, on implementing these systems, getting to that level that you want to get to, then go below right now and click to apply. And let's get to know each other. Let's see if this would be a great fit for you.